Samuel Little. The name sends chills down your spine. He wasn't a monster hiding in plain sight. He was the embodiment of evil, masquerading as an unassuming man. The FBI confirmed it. America's most prolific serial killer. 93 lives extinguished, snuffed out like candles in the wind. Decades of terror from 1970 to 2005, a reign of violence that stretched across state lines, leaving a trail of shattered lives in its wake. His victims? Women on the fringes of society, prostitutes, drug addicts, the forgotten and the vulnerable. He preyed on their desperation, their need for a helping hand, only to deliver them into the abyss. Strangulation, his preferred method. No gunshots, no messy scenes, just the cold, calculated grip of death. Their bodies, often left in abandoned buildings, alleyways, discarded like trash. Little was a phantom, drifting from town to town, his crimes often misclassified as overdoses or accidents. The perfect camouflage for a monster. He blended in, a ghost in the machine, leaving law enforcement baffled, frustrated, and always a step behind. The sheer scale of his depravity is staggering. 93 confirmed victims and possibly more. Each life represents a world lost, a family torn apart, a void that can never be filled. Little's story is a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface, the evil that can wear a human face. Samuel Little was a master manipulator, a chameleon who could blend into any environment. He was a drifter, moving from state to state, city to city, leaving a trail of broken lives in his wake. His ability to evade capture for so long was a testament to his cunning and the systemic failures that allowed him to slip through the cracks. Little had a long history with law enforcement, a rap sheet that stretched back decades. Assault, theft, even rape. He had a knack for slipping through the justice system's grasp, receiving lenient sentences or successfully appealing convictions. Each brush with the law seemed to embolden him, fueling his belief that he was untouchable. He targeted marginalized women, those less likely to be reported missing or whose deaths might be attributed to their lifestyles. Their disappearances often went unnoticed, their stories buried beneath a mountain of other unsolved cases. Little was a ghost, a whisper in the night. He moved through the shadows, exploiting the vulnerabilities of his victims and the blind spots of a system ill-equipped to track him. His ability to disappear, to become invisible, for so long is a chilling reminder of the challenges law enforcement faces in hunting down predators who operate in the shadows. For decades, Samuel Little operated with impunity, a predator stalking the shadows, leaving a trail of death and despair across America. But his reign of terror couldn't last forever. The walls were closing in, the net tightening, and his luck was about to run out. In 2012, a routine DNA check in a Los Angeles County jail cell would prove to be Little's undoing. The sample, taken after an arrest for drug possession, matched evidence from 3 unsolved murders in the city, dating back to the 1980s. The pieces of the puzzle were finally falling into place. The Los Angeles Police Department, sensing a break in a cold case, contacted the FBI's Violent Criminal Apprehension Program, VICAP. VICAP, with its vast database and expertise in linking seemingly unrelated crimes, quickly identified Little as a potential serial killer. The evidence was mounting, and Little's carefully constructed world was crumbling around him. He was extradited to California to face trial for the 3 Los Angeles murders, the beginning of the end of his reign of terror. The capture of Samuel Little was a testament to the relentless pursuit of justice, a victory for law enforcement's unwavering commitment to holding even the most elusive criminals accountable. Texas Ranger Holland, a beacon in the darkness. With Samuel Little behind bars facing a mountain of evidence in the Los Angeles murders, investigators across the country began to re-examine their own cold cases. Could this unassuming man, with his chillingly calm demeanor, be the key to unlocking mysteries that had haunted them for years? Enter Texas Ranger James Holland, a veteran investigator with a reputation for cracking the toughest cases. Holland, intrigued by Little's history and the scope of his potential crimes, decided to pay him a visit in the Los Angeles County Jail. Holland knew he had to gain Little's trust, to break through the wall of silence he'd erected around himself. He appealed to Little's ego, his vanity, his twisted sense of pride. It was a gamble, a high-stakes game of wits against a master manipulator. Holland's gamble paid off. Over the course of numerous interviews, Little, sensing a kindred spirit in the Ranger, began to unravel. He confessed to murders no one else knew about, providing details only the killer could have known. Holland had struck gold, but it was a bittersweet victory. Each confession, while bringing closure to families, also unearthed a wellspring of pain and grief. Confessions of a monster unraveling Little's web of death. Samuel Little, once a phantom, a whisper in the night, was now a torrent of confessions, each one a punch to the gut, a stark reminder of the depravity he was capable of. He reveled in the details, sketching portraits of his victims from memory, describing their last moments with a chilling detachment. His confessions were a macabre roadmap, guiding investigators across the country, connecting the dots in cases that had long gone cold. Little's memory was astonishing, his recall of dates, locations, and victim details uncanny. He remembered faces, names, and the circumstances of their deaths with a clarity that belied the decades that had passed. But his confessions were more than just a recounting of facts. They were a window into the mind of a monster, a glimpse into the darkness that consumed him. He spoke of his victims with a chilling detachment, his words devoid of remorse or empathy. Little's confessions were a double-edged sword. They brought closure to families who had long given up hope, but they also reopened old wounds, forcing them to confront the horrors their loved ones had endured. Each confession was a painful reminder of the human cost of Little's reign of terror.